Lord.
Today we're going to be talking about there's a thing that Yahusha was a carpenter. I think a lot of people, but it's not about that, but it's just cleared up. But a lot of people think Yahusha was a carpenter, and because Joseph was a carpenter. But I ain't never heard Yahusha talking about making tables or nothing like that in the scripture. But a lot of people think that. I think that's mainly in the Christian church. I never really heard it anywhere else, but I just heard it there. But his real thing was gardening. That's what it was all about. That's what they was talking. Yah was talking about gardening. That's the main trade of Yahusha is gardening. And we're gonna touch on this in the scriptures, but it's for a purpose, and because it's just like with anything, a relationship, a marriage, raising your children, it's like a garden. The more you put in it, take care of the soil, water it, trim the weeds. When you see the weeds, get them out there, get the pest out of it. You're gonna see your marriage, your whatever is going to grow. It's going to be fruitful. That's why the scripture say, "Be fruitful." See, it's always these gardening terms: be fruitful and multiply. So we're going to be talking about that and some parables about that and whatnot. And at the end of it, we're going to go into the book of Enoch and talk about why Yah is going to be funny and why Yah is big on smells. That's why I'm sure when Yahusha was here, he dreaded it because this place stinks. We don't know how bad it stinks, but when you come from heaven to here, this, and when we read about what's in the heavenly kingdom and what's going to be in the garden, the new garden, you're going to realize, man, this place stinks. It stinks bad. Like there's nothing you can do. Bad. It stinks bad. But so glory to God, and may the lesson go out in the word and the spirit. First, we're going to go to Genesis 2. Genesis 8, verse 8 to 18.
Chapter 2?
Yeah, Genesis chapter 2, verse 8 to 18. 8 to 18. This is the garden. I said chapter 2, right?
Yeah.
Chapter 2 and 8 to 18. Yeah, I meant chapter 2, 8 to 18. All right, it reads, "And Yah planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he formed, and out of the ground made Yah to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads." So and you're starting to see, God got everything. It's a self-operating ecosystem. But I'm gonna put the tree right here. I'm gonna put the river right here, so the water is gonna get watered. Everything's just flowing. When y'all get done with it, it's self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that's another thing about when you take care of your garden, you work it out like a marriage or relationship. It's gonna be self-sufficient when you set everything up the right way. But verse 11, "The name of the first is Payson, that is which compassed the whole land of Halavea, where there is gold." So anybody wants some gold, that's where it's at. And I know they went here. You know they went here.
Yes, sir.
You know they went here. 13. And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and oxen stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is that compass the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Hiddiko, that is which goeth towards the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And Yah took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. So even though it's self-sufficient, the man was put here to make sure, anything that needs to be addressed, Y'all got somebody in his garden that can address it. So the first job was a gardener. The first job on the earth. Your job was gardening. 16. And Yah commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest, therefore thou shalt surely die. And Yah said, it is not good that man should be alone, making him help me. But how did the first downfall happen? It happened in the garden. Look at that, that came to me right there. I was going to get background on the gardening and whatnot, how Yah's big on gardening. Genesis 3:1, verse 1 to 7. Okay. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yah hath made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath Yah said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yah hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. The first lie. At least on here, I'm sure, Louis was up in that line, but the first lie on earth, what happened in the garden. 5. For Yah doeth know that in that day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, so Eve been looking at this tree for a while in the garden anyway, but because we're gonna talk about go into the depths of the tree in Enoch, how beautiful it was. This wasn't just something that you just don't walk by and don't catch your eye, like something beautiful. It's gonna catch your eye. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So they went to the tree, a very beautiful tree, but it was off limits in Yah's garden. So, and now we're going to go to some parables about gardening, how Yah is very big on gardening. So we understand that the first job he ever gave somebody was a gardening job, and it was to take care of the garden. So, in verse, we're going to go to the next section, so I'll just give you some background on the gardening. Psalms 1 to 3. Psalms 1 to 3. Alright. Let's talk about the righteous. I'm going to speak a few parables on this. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners. That's what Brother Ron be talking about, touching another person, not touching another person's sin and whatnot. Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of Yah, and in his law doeth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season, his leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. There we go with this gardening. So it's going to be, again, this is about gardening, and we're going to touch on a lot of precepts on that, then get to the next part of the lesson. Genesis 32 and 12. Genesis 32 and 12. 32 and 12. And thou saidest, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed. There we go, talking about the gardening. So right now, Yah is gardening, and he's basically planting righteous man. And he's talking to Abraham. I'm going to do something in your garden. Seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. That was just that verse right there. We'll go to Matthew 13. So man is like Yah's garden right now. And we're going to talk about, how Yah is plucking man and, pricking them, pruning them. Can I get some fruit out of you? Or are you just a dry tree that I got to cut down? So you want to be a fruitful seed. So it's going to be Matthew 13. Matthew 13, going to read the whole chapter, that one. Or at least till 9, probably. Okay, verse 13. The same day when Yahusha, the same day went Yahusha out of the house and sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things upon them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. So, and that's just, the quick, like we was talking about the other day, I was talking to y'all about Jezebel. How Jezebel, you tell somebody who got a Jezebel spirit on them, hey, Jesus' name is Yahusha. Oh, that's crazy, you stupid, and they picking up it right there. You got devoured right there. You don't want to take it to another step. So, yeah, these are the rules of gardening, Okay. Fowls came and devoured them. Verse 5. Some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, but because they had no depthness of the earth. And this is the rules about gardening. So you want to know when you're gardening where to guard. Are you going to guard where people are not going to respect the seed? Are you planting among swine that they're not going to respect it? They're not going to take care of it? Or are you planting in unfruitful people? Are you in a strip club right now, giving the word to Passion, and while she's doing her matters? It is not springing up. So you gotta know when and how to plant, and it might not be the right time for you to plant. Verse 6, and when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no roots, they withered away, and you got Big Tommy over there, he just got paid, and as the brothers say, they got the eagle flying. Passion, she looked at you and looked at him. The sun came up with that money, and that scorched your words, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it wasn't a fruitful place to, time to be doing that. 7, and some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. And that's a bad one right there. 8, but others fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, and some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And you want to know when you're in your gardening, when you're going out and reaping, that's another thing. God wants you to do what? He wants you to reap. You reap in a garden. You plant and you reap what you sow. So you want to make sure you're taking hold of verse 8 and knowing where you're planting. You want to, is this person is fruitful? Some people, that's about knowing the wheat and tares. And am I casting my pearls before swine? You don't want to waste your seed, because you only got so much seed, and that could be in the form of patience. You don't want to give all your seeds of patience to somebody who's just going to pour it out, man. You done spent 90% of your patience here, and you mad when you leave, and you done meet a fruitful ground that you could have put that patience to, and now you ain't got no more seeds of patience. You know what I'm saying? You got 10%. They gonna ask you one stupid question, and people do ask, or something that's gonna annoy you, get on your nerve, and you go, now because you spent all your time trying to hit this messed up, dirty, clay ground. You gotta make sure. You're gonna go to Luke 13. Luke chapter 13, verse 10 to 14. 13, 10 to 14. And this is comforting things too, because this is Luke 13, verse 10 to 14. Because we all planters, at the end of the day, we're reaping, you're taking care of people. You know when to water and when not to water, when to give somebody a little bit of light and give them a little, hey, why don't you rest tonight, you know what I'm saying? So have the mindset of a gardener, like Yahusha, 10 and 14. 13, 10, 14. Okay. And he was teaching in one of the synagogues on the Sabbath. And behold, there was a woman which had a spirit of infirmity 18 years, and was bound together, and could no wise lift up herself. And when Yahusha saw her, he called her to him, and said unto her, Woman, thou art loose from thine infirmity. And he laid hands on her, and immediately saw she was made straight, and glorified Yah. Verse 14. And the ruler of the synagogue answered with indignation, because that Yahusha had healed on the Shabbat day, and said unto the people, There are 6 days in which man ought to work, and them therefore come and be healed, and not on the Sabbath day. Is that the right one? Yeah. Mustard seed. No, that wasn't it.
Mustard seed?
Yes. The next page. Oh, the next one over. But that was the background of it, so I just keep it going anyway. The mustard seed. 18. Then said he unto what is the kingdom of Yah like, and whereunto shall I resemble it? Now, if you know anything about a mustard seed is the smallest seed possible. Ain't no smaller seed than a mustard seed. And, and we all know about the faith, about the mustard seed, but let me read this first, and I'll talk about that. 19. So the king, 18. Then said he unto what is the kingdom of Yah like, and whereunto shall I resemble it? 19. It is like a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and cast into his garden, and it grew, and waxed great tree, and fowls of the air are lodged in the branches of the tree. Okay, now you know about the mustard seed, and y'all know about the parable. Just have a grain of faith. This is a mustard seed, and Yahusha just didn't say these particular seeds just for any old reason. It's not like he said if you just have the faith of a watermelon seed or a pineapple seed or whatever. He said a mustard seed because he's a gardener. He know about seeds and whatnot and what's going to happen. And the mustard seed is the smallest seed that is available, but it is the largest herb tree out of all the herbs. So he knows what he's talking about, and he's basically just saying, if you can just have the smallest amount, if I can just work with you just a little bit, let me work with you, I can make you the biggest and the best. Because we know the end goal plan is for Yah and Yahusha to make you the biggest and best that you are. To purge out of all the other stuff. To root all the weeds out and to make you flourish. So that's why he's bringing up the mustard seed. He wants you to flourish. Not just be a little plant. Flourish. The gardener know what he's talking about. Isaiah, and then we're going to go to, stay in Luke, but what is the other one? One second. I think I wrote this down wrong. 2013. That's wrong. 6. Yeah, let's go to Isaiah 5, chapter 5, and 1 to 8. Isaiah chapter 5, 1 to 8. And we're going to build the background because of this. You're going to be amazed how much, all this is going to add up at the end. You're going to be like, wow. Okay, Isaiah 5, 1 to 8. 1 to 8. Now, I will sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill, and he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof. So meaning like, he worked the ground. He got all the rocky stone out, and now it's just workable soil right there. And planted it with the choicest vines, and built a tower in the midst of it. So Yahusha is taking his time in there, and it's going to be a point at the end of this when we get to about verse 8. But Yah, this is just showing you Yah is working this. He's trying to make it something. Okay? Tower in the midst of it, and also made a wine press therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. So something went wrong here. Yah planted something, and it was supposed to be beautiful, domesticated grapes. It wasn't supposed to be wild grapes. You don't want wild grapes. Nothing wild in the garden. When you put something wild in the garden, it's going to be bad. So this is what Yah is saying, like, hey, something wrong here. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem, and if you don't know by now, the garden is Zion, and man of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. What could have been done more to my vineyard? This is Yah talking to Zion. What more could I have done for you? Now, we're just talking about parables here, but it's not a specific point. But this particular message is Yah is almost pleading with them. What more could I have done to you? I put you in the best schools. I gave you the best clothes. I gave you the best food. What more could I have done to you? Or are you just a wild grape tree? Okay, what could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes. And now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down, and I will lay it waste. It shall not be pruned nor dug, but there shall come up barrens and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it. For the vineyard of Yah of hosts is the house of Zion, Israel, and the man of Judah, his pleasant plants. Not only are you, all this, the chosen people, the apple of Yah, the flock of Yah, you are his choice. This is Zion, his choice garden. No other garden on the planet Earth is his choice. When he want to go see the special fruit, the good wine, he go over there. Let me see how fruitful mine is. That's why, you know, you want to do as much as you can to please and be in Yah, because not only did he plant you and work you, you are Zion is his choice. You know, if a horse could understand that this is the prize horse, that's a little happy. You know, they put the little thing on them and, you know, prance them around. You get like, yeah, people taking pictures of them. Yeah, look at it. It's beautiful, ain't it? You know, so it's a good thing to feel that Yah chose Zion to do this marvelous thing. Just like in verse 4, he said, what could have been done more to my vineyard? You know, a lot of other nations aren't hearing that, not because Yah is evil or wicked, is because he chose this particular garden to do marvelous things in, and it's a blessing and a gift that anybody who's in Zion